How do we live a citizen of God's kingdom? And how do we live as a citizen of a kingdom of this earth that's imperfect? Daniel is the example of this. Daniel shows us how to serve the King of Kings, but also serve a kingdom on the face of this earth. And the backdrop to Daniel is Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 29, where we're at today in the reading, is another shocking passage to God's people. As shocking as it was for God to say, submit yourself to Nebuchadnezzar, it was shocking to them for God to say, go into Babylon, build a house, find wives and husbands, have babies, find wives and husbands for those babies, seek the welfare of your city, pray for your city, because the welfare of your city, the better your city is, the better you're going to be off. Go make the most of where you're at right now. Look, that was shocking to them. Because good religious people would bunker in an evil world. They would create ghettos, their own religious ghettos in which they wouldn't come out of. And talk about how bad the world is around them. And yell against the world that was around them. Perhaps they would boycott the world around them, do everything they could to subvert, to undercut the culture in which they lived. This doesn't sound very familiar today, does it? Actually, it sounds like our response. See, for years, decades, Christians have built churches in which to spend all weekend. And they've created programs in which to spend all week at church. And we've created our own Christian subculture. And we have created Christian businesses in which to work in. And we have only done business amongst Christians. And we've created Christian schools and Christian colleges in which to go to. And each one of those in and of itself isn't bad. But God has not demanded that we separate ourselves from our culture. See, Daniel is our foreshadow of how to live as citizens of God's kingdom, but yet serve an imperfect culture. Quite frankly, a pagan, evil, brutal culture. God told them to walk right in there and serve them. We are here to serve is more than a slogan. It's what God has told us to do in our community. And look, the best way you do that is that you go to work every day, right? Serve that community of your workplace as best as you can. And utilize your job and what the mission that your company has. Serve that so that your company can serve the world around you. Seek the welfare of your city. As a student, be educated. Be like Daniel and his three friends, and educate yourself among our culture. But also, serve that school that you're in. Seek the welfare of the school that you're in, that community that you are in. Seek the welfare of that. All families. How do you seek the welfare of the people around you and the culture that is around you? Church. How do we seek the welfare and the good of the community at large and the culture at large? And Laurie and our missions team do so well in leading us in that. And how do we continue to step in that direction? I believe that God's mandate through Jeremiah is right to us today. How better for us to learn how to live as citizens of God's kingdom and a servant to the King of Kings, but yet we serve the culture around us and seek the welfare of the culture around us. It's a tension. And Daniel helps us manage that tension. He served Nebuchadnezzar, but he also served the King of Kings. How do you, how does your family, how do we as a church serve the King of Kings, but yet live as citizens of the kingdom that is America, the United States of America, and seek the benefit of the communities in which we live.